back just like that, people. Brand new podcast. Typical podcast back at you again with another brand new episode. Of course, my boy back is back in the fucking virtual studio as always.
Told you I'd be
Eduardo.
back.
Oh, dude, I know you'd be back. You had took a nice little vacay, but I mean, if you want to talk about that, we'll definitely dig in. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I, just recuperating from, who knows, God knows what it could have been. But, it seems this year I'm just getting hit with all kinds of sicknesses and diseases and viruses and whatnot.
Oh,
shit. And I don't know if it's just because I was in a mask all year, and now all of a sudden my body's like, hey, let's tango. Or if I'm just, putting myself in dangerous situations. I'm just begging for trouble. I'm begging to be depopulated.
Well, that's crazy because that would put you probably, well, if we're talking about you possibly having COVID again, this is probably like your third time.
It would be the third. This would be the third one.
Man.
But hey, I was not even willing to go to the doctor this time because, with the phone calls and with the tracking and the tracing and the blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nope, not going through that again. I'm just going to handle it. Teflon Don. I remember
it's like they say 3 strikes are out, but hopefully not in this case, right?
Nah, son, dude, I'm telling you, man, this immune, what do you call it? Natural immunity.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, baby. Like I'm getting for free what Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer are trying to charge motherfuckers like $20 to $40 to get, I'm like, dude, I just do it myself. Homegrown, bitch.
Homegrown. Well, I'm glad you're a-okay. Seems like you're in good spirits and you're sipping on a little something over there as I'm sipping on my little this is some scissors, some cough syrup. I'm just playing. No, it's just a little Red Bull mixed with little flavors, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm sipping on today. We're taking an ease off the Modelo for today, but it'll be back. But dude, okay, so do you want to talk kind of about what where you were at these past couple of days, kind of like where you went off? Because I want to tie it in with something that I tried to record a solo episode. I fucking accidentally deleted it, and it was just that was my bad on my end.
Oh.
And I'll try to talk about this. We'll go into it if you want to talk about kind of where you were at this past weekend and your little trip and how it got halted by Mother Nature and kind of what happened. Well, not really Mother Nature, but it was pretty much somebody that started it, and Mother Nature had to take a hit for it. So
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so I for our daughter is 4 years old, and we took her to her cardiologist, and she passed with flying colors, and
awesome.
she's doing really good. But for her 4th birthday, we were like, you know what, we're just gonna go to Silverwood, family trip over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and we did that. But the problem is, this is where sometimes this year has just been very busy year for me. Yeah. And so I waited the last minute to book hotels. Okay. I've run into this before, and I've shared stories about this before. When you wait last minute to go to somewhere like Coeur d'Alene, and then you end up having to stay somewhere in, like, let's just say Post Falls. Post Falls is kind of like, I want to say the city itself maybe is okay. I don't know. But the hotels that I've stayed at are like where biker gangs and truckers stay,
where all the drug deals go down at.
So I get there, and then, like, and we, we're like, okay, it's not the nicest hotel, but it's nicer than last time. Like last time there were like bullet holes in the walls, and I'm like, okay, well, at least I don't feel like I'm gonna find a syringe in the bathroom, so that this is an upgrade already.
Yeah.
But I guess I gave him a little bit too much credit, because as I was going to bed, I noticed this big brown stain, like right where my head was laying. Like,
oh no.
And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Right. And so, I end up sleeping on top of the covers, and I'm like, oh my God, they have to change these sheets. This is disgusting. Like, someone's human bodily fluids are on these sheets, and it's brown. And I mean, it's like, it's disgusting. It's like, here's what it looked like. It looked like someone fell, like a trucker. Again, we're in the trucker area.
Yeah.
Looked like a trucker fell asleep with a dip in his lip. And then it's just like the dip was, and he was drooling in his
just
sleep.
leaking everywhere.
And then that's exactly where my face was. And and I got sick. Like,
Yeah.
so I didn't get sick until I came back, but I got in the biggest fight with hotel management about
Oh, I
this.
would too. I would have thrown a fit for sure, guaranteed.
So they tell me that they can't change the sheets out because there was something, we went to Silverwood, spent our day in Silverwood, and we came back and our sheets were still not changed. And I went nuclear, and I sent emails. I said, I want to talk to somebody. They were like, no, the general manager's not going to be back until Monday. I said, the fuck not. I'm talking to someone right now. And this is disgusting. And, I'm probably going to die. And that was almost prophecy. So they, I long email, got a hold of the management, and then she ended up comping me for 2 of the 3 days that I stayed there.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I got 2 of the 3 days there back, but it was crazy. Well, anyway, so that was that. That was pretty gross, and I did get really fucking sick from it. So I guarantee you, I mean, that hotel, it was nasty. We'll never go there again. I'm not going to name the name just because they tried to do it right. They tried to,
Yeah,
whatever, but I'll never stay there again. It got my whole family sick. And then on Silverwood, we were there, and like, we're getting ready to leave anyway, because
yeah,
we're
yeah.
just like, there's only so much fun in the sun that you can handle,
Oh,
especially
for
the
sure.
older you get. You're just like, man,
Fuck this. I'm
I
done.
just want to lay my head down on more some trucker spit, and
Yeah.
so we were, all of a sudden I look up and there's this plume of smoke in the sky. I'm like, oh my god, is the other side of the park on fire or what? Well,
Oh,
and all of a
Jesus.
sudden, I'm in the pool and I'm just getting ready to get a drink, and lifeguards are like, everybody out, everybody out, everybody out, and we had been evacuated. So there were about 8,000 of us at this park that ended up getting evacuated. And it took us, so because the fire was so close to the park, it
Shit.
started with 5 acres burning. And then I think by that night, it reached up to 87 acres. And
Holy moly.
they had 2 helicopters putting this thing out and 3 airplanes. It was crazy. And
Nah,
it was
that's
just,
crazy.
yeah. So we ended up getting free passes for that, but it took us an hour, like probably an hour, just to get out of the
Get
park,
out.
like out of the parking lot, because there the roads were closed. So you had to find a detour, and you had to have
Yeah.
8,000 people in all of their cars trying to get out of there.
Yeah. That's nuts, man. That's
Woo!
nuts. Yeah, that's it's crazy kind of like your little trip had to end off like that. I could just I mean, I've like living in Eastern Washington, years and years ago and dealing with just wildfires like that. It's crazy, man, especially with all the smog and smoke and I mean, it's not good for you. I mean, I don't think it's healthy breathing all that crap in. So, dude, that's crazy. That's I mean, the good thing you guys left, dipped out, you're like, "Ah, no, we're out of here," and all that. But what's crazy though? So, this kind of leads into what I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit before we go into these other tinfoil hat journey we're going to go into today
Love it.
is the fact that and I've already talked to you about it off air, but in Dubai I mentioned that they're making it rain, not money, little Wayne rain, but like actual drops rain with drones being released into the sky,
That's
letting an
insane.
electrical discharge to where it makes it rain. Okay, so first of all, back in the days, I mean, just hearing about it now and knowing that that could happen, and that California is even talking about it with their drought, having like obviously not that much water, they're considering doing that here. So it's like, but I've heard that seeding, like weather seeding, was a thing that they were doing even before to be able to like kind of manipulate the weather a little bit, but to make it rain where you can just like I don't know how long it like the time it takes for it to happen, but for them to just release drones, a couple minutes, boom, rain instantly. Dude, fucking wild. I mean, in situations like that, I can see that playing a big role. Like, let's say, okay, hold on, guys, there's a fire. We're gonna release some drones. We're gonna make it rain. You guys should be okay in an hour, whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
how fucking crazy would that be, dude? Isn't that wild? Like,
That is wild. That's like it sort of, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like this new age that we're living in. It's like we're able to manipulate our everything. Did you see the latest thing over, in our neck of the woods in Everett, Washington? Did you see the newest plant that's breaking ground, that broke ground last week?
yes, you were telling me about how they're gonna make a new type of non-ignited what is it type of fuel, right?
what they're calling it is they're calling it clean nuclear energy.
Clean nuclear energy,
And
dude. That would be
calling it
crazy.
the holy grail
The Holy Grail.
nuclear energy. And they're saying that just a little bit of whatever
It's water
nuclear
and
power, whatever,
yeah,
it enough to what do they say? Do all the homes or whatever in like for 800 years. They have
yeah.
enough
That
energy for however many homes for 800 years. And I'm like, wow, you
damn.
know? So
Imagine that being put like in homes, cars. I mean, dude, that would change the world. Like seriously, it would be massive. But
are you gonna apply?
oh, dude. I mean, I mean, it's done. I mean, it's an option, right? At this point, but I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's good. It's good if they do come up with a clean way to do this, and it's not as hazardous as what we're doing now, like for like as in gasoline and all that. I'm all for it, but I don't know, man. We would have to see the results because it's not really fully like a thing now, but they're on the verge of actually making it a reality, right? So, I don't know. It's crazy. When you sent me that article, I'm stoked. I'm happy for it. Like, I hope they do make some progress in it, but only time will tell, man. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, just recapping on what you're saying, we are living in one of the most interesting times, like to really witness all this stuff coming to fruition. You know what I'm saying? With them being able to make it rain, and then with this now, dude,
Yep.
it's crazy. It is nuts. But yeah, I mean, glad you guys made it out. You guys are good. Besides you getting sick, I mean, that is crazy. About, I'd be throwing a fit too if I was sleeping next to fucking spit, chew, drool stains. That's fucking crazy, dude.
It was like going. Here's the thing, though. Like, as mad as I was about it,
Yeah.
Though, like it wasn't. It was par for the course for my whole. Like that's the expectation. When I go to like say Montana, the only thing that made it different was that we were in a pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I fully expect if I'm in northern Idaho or Wyoming or Montana and I'm staying in the level of hotel that I'm staying in, I'm expecting maybe the sheets aren't going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a 50-50 shot. It's like a roll of the dice. It might be good, might not be. But that I'm ready for that level of expectations. We are known and for our dingy hotels. Like we're not known for having the best of the best, right? And so it's hard because like for me, I'm in a different tax bracket in this day and age. So it's like, and I'm having a hard time adjusting my lifestyle to that tax bracket, so it's like I'm totally okay living in a trailer. Like if I was in a trailer and I had a used car that broke down like at least once every 2 months, I would be like, this is what I'm used to, right? And so it's like that's why I always tell people it's you can take the boy out of the trailer park, but you can't take the trailer park out of the boy. I say it all the time because like I live like that. Like I you can put me with all of these fancy aristocrats or whatever you want to call people around here, whatever. Like, but I'm always just like I'm like, man, you're a pretty countrified. I'm like chicken fried rice. I don't know what I am. It's like when I went over there. I was in Silverwood and I saw these glasses and I will wear them on the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Called Pit Vipers. And I'm like, and I did not see one set of these glasses worn without a mullet. And I told my wife, I like looked at him. I'm like, I'm at home. This is home for me. I feel so comfortable. So yes. So I had to, I figured out, I'm like, okay, I just went right to the website and they come out of Salt Lake City, Utah. They are an American made product and American company and vintage type glasses. And I'm like, dude, these are what I see like Macho Man Randy Savage wearing.
Oh, dude, fucking legend.
Oh man, and it's just like it reminded me of my childhood when I saw these glasses. I'm like, God, this reminds me of the good times in the early 90s when I don't know if Clinton was quite in office, but like in the early 90s, I just remember things being a lot smoother than, I mean, once the Patriot Act passed, it's like our way of life just sort of really degraded. Once the NSA started like tapping into all of our phones and all of our conversations, and just like laughing at all of our dick pics. It was kind of like, man, life's changed.
Sure, things have changed, man. Since back then.
Things just ain't the same for
Damn
gangsters.
Bars, baby, bars.
Try.
No, they are sweet glasses, and I can't wait for you to wear them in our next episode, because that's definitely going to be I mean, it's just swag, man. That's it. It's what it is, dude.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of shirts. I definitely want to rock one shirt when I wear it. I'll explain that when I get it. So provided it doesn't, like, I bought this one shirt, and I was buying some ammo, and I'll share this ammo story for you real quick.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So there was a 100-round limit of ammo you could buy.
Okay.
And I needed to buy 200. So I told my wife, I go, hey, I need you to go in that line with 100 rounds of ammo, and I'm going to go in this line with 100 rounds of ammo. So the guy sees this, female Asian buying the ammo, and he goes, oh, a lady that likes her ammo. And she looks at the clerk and goes,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was perfect. Well, then I bought this like tank top, right? I'm like, man, it is really hot over here, and I am like, having any sleeve whatsoever is not working. I need a tank top, right? So I bought an extra large tank top. Well, it was like an extra large skinny, because like I put this thing on and like it just like shows my boobs, and I'm like, I showed my wife. I'm like, I'm driving with it anyway. I don't care.
Awesome.
It was hot over there. It was hot.
How hot did it get over there?
Like maybe 90 something. I mean, hot enough for a white guy.
Yeah. Anything above 90, I think is
anything above 85. I'm like sweating. I'm like, hey, can someone turn on the AC? Anything above 76. This is getting a little hot, guys.
Yeah, dude. I mean, once you start sweating when you're eating, that's when you know it's warm.
Oh man. Yeah, but when you sweat when you eat, that's where I am. That's how I know I've had enough Mexican food. Like when because Mexican food, I don't know what it is about it. Like I can't find the brake pedal whenever I'm at a Mexican restaurant, because I will eat and I will eat and I will eat, and then like I literally won't stop eating until I start sweating. I'm like, okay, my body's saying stop.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Hey, man, but hey, it's like I said, man, as long as you're well fed, you're good. But I mean, when you start eating to the point where you're sweating, I don't know. I think that's when you need to backpedal a little bit. It's like, fuck, man. Either you're getting a heart attack or you're enjoying it. One of the two.
Something's going on. Something's going on. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Nah, but more to the story. Stay hydrated.
You held your own though. You did a podcast. You did. Yep. Was that the first time you went solo?
It was the first time that we did something where because usually, like we mentioned before, we do take pauses because obviously we have things to do. We're family men. We go do stuff, or we have things to attend to. And I decided to kind of do a little segment, we might do here more consistent of. So it was with my homie Matt. Shout out to Matt. Mm-hmm. He got on. He's been wanting to do it, but we kind of had scheduling conflicts at first. But I managed to have him get on. It was a couple days ago. So when this releases, a couple days, like a week ago, and we just talked just what we talk about usually on an off basis: Marvel, Star Wars, just in general with streaming, with all the streaming services coming out and. Just anything having to do with that. So it went well. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. But it went well, man. I mean, it was a good conversation, and it's just more content to be put out there for the people to enjoy. So yeah,
you had the line of the session though. When I was editing it to get released, you're like, AMC and Regal, they're like the same thing, right? And Matt's like,
I had like a brain fart. I swear, dude. I had a fucking brain fart because
I was laughing so hard, and I hope that the listeners were as well, because that was classic gold. You didn't even realize you weren't trying to be funny, but like that was classic gold right there.
Yeah, no, it honestly, I had like a brain fart, because I was thinking about the reason why I said that is because over here locally there's a movie theater called Lowe's.
Yeah.
Lowe's. And for some reason, I'm like, wait, are they the same thing? Because I was confusing it with one or the other. So that's why I said that. It was like a genuine brain fart. Like, wait,
Yeah.
they're the same thing though, right? And that's what came out when I
Yeah.
said that.
Same
So
same
yeah.
industry. They're competitors, like Lowe's and Home Depot, but
Yeah.
not that Lowe's. That Lowe's.
Yeah. Not Lowe's where you buy your plywood and all that shit, you know. So
Yeah.
no, different Lowe's. No, man, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it
So
was
we'll
good.
definitely have more of that. We'll definitely have more of that here down the future, just to keep, like I said, staying more consistent, and just to get the word out there of just the Tip Tips podcast. So that's what it was all about.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So hopefully we can do that with more other, you know, just have different guests on, or just, you know, trying to be creative, I guess. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Got to be quick
Yeah.
on your feet and, you know, versatile and all that fun
Exactly.
shit.
So what do we have for the agenda today, man? I mean, I know you said we were gonna go down a fucking path of you know, having our imaginary tinfoil hats on. So where do you want to go on this trip or what?
This is the 67th episode of the Tip Touch.
67th episode. Yep.
And I want to say for the previous 66 episodes, we've done a pretty good job at being able to dabble into conspiracy theories without crossing the line.
Yep.
However, I cannot promise that on this episode. And as I was like reading and I'm like, oh my God, some of the stuff I want to talk about, like literally gets pulled off of YouTube. And so this episode, I'm just warning you, and we'll know if the, you know, the gatekeepers pull this episode, we'll know what the line is, right? But how do you know the line until you cross it?
Yep.
But you know, again, because this coronavirus has been such a massive like headache for the world, but it's weird because like so many things have been happening as far as investigations, trying to find out, you know, where it started, trying to find out, is this thing man-made, whatever, or was it from a bat, was it from a pangolin, was it from, you know, so there's so many questions. And was this thing a biological weapon released on you know, on the world by the Chinese? So many questions and so few answers. So the way that I see it is, there's a quote that I heard, and it says, "Time reveals all truth."
Oh, that's
And
bar. That's a fucking bar. Who said that?
oh, that's like, you know, just Google truth quotes or time and truth quotes, and that's like one of the things. And that's one thing that if you are a liar, right, and you're lying and you're lying to people, the one thing is yes, it can be painful for a while, but eventually truth comes out. Look at how many people have tried to have these long unsolved murders have been going on, right? And then all of a sudden DNA, ancestry, and you know, all this stuff is coming out, and they're like, hey, we were able to identify the killer through this ancestry, you know, tracking DNA. So again, yeah, with a certain amount of time, all truth will be revealed, and it's beautiful.
It's fucking awesome. I love that. I love that bar.
I took a little bit of notes, so if I have to read a little bit, it's just because there's just a lot, but it's not that, you know, not like super like college level deep.
No, this is Harvard level shit right here. So
yeah, no, this is like, if anything, community college. Like, you know, like something that your parents can afford.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, so what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the pandemic, right? Was this thing really a pandemic? Was this pandemic planned? I'm just gonna, you know, there could be a smoking gun, but you guys are gonna have to. So,
allegedly, it could be a smoking gun.
The U.S. now, there's reports coming out that the U.S. funded the Wuhan lab. The U.S. National Institute of Health and Wuhan Institute of Virology. Yeah. And so Mike Pompeo, anytime the CIA, so you know me with the CIA, right? Anytime you get those higher up CIA guys, CIA is like unaccountable to anybody. They can run black money, dark money, and not have to report to anybody. And that's the crazy thing about the CIA. um, is that they can just they're basically lawless law administration. So Mike Pompeo, he was quoted as saying that that the reason why that this American funding was taking place was to protect the American people from labs that aren't up to standard. And
Okay.
so my comment to that is, okay, and it's pretty ironic that the lab that the CIA guy defended happens to be the very lab where this whole thing may or may not have started, right? Pretty funny
Okay.
that a CIA guy
Yeah.
would tell us, try to defend it, and then and it's also the same spot of the origin.
Too much
May
of
or
a
may not.
coincidence type deal, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just a smoking gun, maybe.
yeah, yeah. No big, whatever,
So the U.S. funding for the Wuhan lab occurred in two phases. The first phase was from 2014 to 2019 with a $3.7 million dollar amount that was spent on a project to collect and study bat coronaviruses. Ooh, that's getting
Okay.
closer.
Yeah.
Getting closer. The second phase began shortly thereafter with another 3.7 milli. But this project included work on gain of function, and this was research that investigates how a virus can gain the ability to infect a new type of animal. A new type of animal, like a human?
Huh.
Is that what we were studying? But we won't know. We won't
Yeah.
know because both the US and Chinese officials strongly deny that COVID was man made. It's just a big fat coincidence, people. A big
Yeah.
fat American sandwich coincidence.
And it's almost like, why would they, out of anything else they would want to study, why would they want to kind of mess with that specific, area of exploration of what it could infect or what other animal it could infect? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
why?
Why are you developing a weapon like this? And why are we working with the Chinese on this type of thing?
That even more. That's like a more of a red flag, literally.
Seriously. But
Yeah.
if you look at the history, like, okay, let's look at Germany when they fell in love with the American the use of eugenics. In
Mhm.
1917, there was a movie called um, The Black Stork, and it had this Dr. Harry. Oh boy, I don't know his name. Dr. Harry Heisland or something. Heisland. Let's see. Hold on. Maybe I still have his name up.
I was about to say Harry O that started Death Row Records.
Yeah, only God can judge me.
Classic, classic.
Okay, Dr. Harry. What's his name? The Black Stork. Dr. Harry Heiselden. And
Okay.
I mean, and this so basically the story is this doctor, um, he was a doctor, and there was his mother giving birth this, and then when the baby was delivered, he was like, wow, this baby has a lot of things that is wrong with it, and I don't really feel like I'm want to do the work on it. And the mom was like, no, it's okay. The baby's okay. It's the most beautiful baby I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And and if you have the expertise to work on there was something wrong with his abdomen. And he's like, I do have the expertise to work on it, but that's a problem. Is I'm going to be working on this baby, and I probably can fix him, but I don't want to. And that was his
Mm.
whole practice on eugenics. And so Hitler really fell in love with with the American eugenics, because eugenics just didn't stop at babies. It was also like corralling the mentally ill, and putting them into crazy houses, and really just like eliminating what we would perceive as like anything less than perfect,
Mhm.
and either getting rid of them at birth, or if they did make it past birth, putting them into different mental institutions, whatever. So then Hitler put his own infamous spin on it, and carried through with his form of eugenics, but that was American made. That was an American thing.
It's fucking
And
crazy.
here we are where, it's almost like America didn't want to get their hands too dirty with this coronavirus thing, and they knew that China, could do some dirt and get away with it.
Yeah.
And so they it's almost like they let China do their bidding for them.
Yeah, and it would make more sense because then it's like they have an easy kind of a getaway to point the fingers if this thing became a pandemic, like you would say, right?
Yeah.
But we're kind of going back to what you're saying about Hitler. What's even crazy is that wasn't he actually didn't he have plans to make like this master race, like a race of like blonde hair, blue eyes, like it was some crazy shit, man. Like
Nordic. Yep.
They were really doing some like really really wild stuff back in the days, man.
It was wild. It was
Yeah.
wild. And and that's a thing. I mean, it's just like this is what happens when you give science and you give these elitists too much power.
Mhm.
And this is the problem that I see with these corporations like Jeff Bezos. Like, we're all laughing that he is going off into space, but
Yeah.
what if he's planning this whole thing to where they are planning on this nuclear holocaust to eradicate 90 almost 94% of the world, and they're going to have this space base for the very rich elite. And so Richard Branson, Elon Musk,
Elon
and
Musk.
and Jeff Bezos are all like, well, there's a reason why we're putting all this money into space technology, because
Yeah.
we're going to need to stay up there for a little while.
It would make more sense, dude. It would make more sense. They're talking about putting what is it, inhabiting Mars and doing stuff up there and all this shit. So it's like why all of a sudden for space, like it's crazy when that all those talks started happening with like the Space Force and all this stuff, and it's just more like they're more concentrating up there and all that shit. Which don't get me wrong, it is interesting, but then you're kind of almost kind of like raising an eyebrow, like why all of a sudden? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's wild, bro.
So basically, where I left off was we're just talking about how this is just one big coincidence that,
Yeah.
like China, that all this money is going to this specific lab, and that, so, and yet it seems that there's this effort on both the Chinese and the US's part to prevent any real type of investigation from occurring on the origin of the virus. China refuses to allow the World Health Organization access to the Wuhan lab and calls demands to investigate shocking and arrogant. And the U.S. government official reportedly ordered his employees not to publicly acknowledge the American connections to the funding that I had just mentioned earlier, out of concern that it would open the Pandora's box. So, is this Pandora's box the box that we call truth, or what? What are we afraid to open? Are we afraid to talk? So my question when I look at this, I'm like, okay, so why would the US and Chinese work together on a man-made virus, allegedly,
Yeah.
that has killed 4.2 million people to date worldwide? 4.2 million have been killed, which is still, I mean, if you look at heart attacks and all this other crazy things, like if this thing was man-made, this thing is like a nothing burger. If this thing was a biological
Yeah.
weapon, natural or not, like it's still, this is a big nothing burger compared to the efforts that have been made to close businesses and mask everybody up and vaccinate. But anyway, so anytime that there's something like this, you want to follow the money, right? So according to Johns Hopkins University of Medicine, the Coronavirus Resource Center website, there have been over 4 billion vaccine doses administered. And the cost of those doses range anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks, and one dose is equaling anywhere. So the total money, we're looking at anywhere between $8.1 trillion to $12.2 trillion that pharmaceutical companies are making on just this one vaccine. Vaccine in quotation, So
Money.
so so one is this thing just a big money thing? Just hurry up, because we came up with this thing pretty quick. And in a year, and you've never really heard of a vaccine being developed this quick, and yet here we are with this one. And then number two is there a plan to depopulate the world. And I think that is something that we should ask at this point in time. The elites, as we call them, have long dreamed of depopulating the planet, whether it's through past practices of eugenics, like I just described, in the let's see, and past eugenics, and also, oh yeah, China's practice of having a one baby law. Remember their law where they families could have only one baby, which resulted in a generation of mostly men, mostly
A bunch
very
of dudes.
lonely men that were really good at whacking off. You know,
Just
like, oh God, I hate being single. Oh God, America puts out the best porn.
that'll be some shit. Oh my god.
The
I hate
Chinese.
America, but I love their porn.
Oh man, well, Bin Laden, when they found Bin Laden and Saddam, both of them had copious amounts of American porn. They
No
loved
shit.
American porn. Yeah. It's
See,
like a
man,
drug, baby.
why can't that be the one way we come together? You love our porn.
Come together.
Just come in peace. We'll give you all the yeah, we come together. Wouldn't there be some shit?
So
That's
yeah.
funny. That's crazy.
And then and also abortion, right? Abortion in America alone erases anywhere between 600,000 to 1 million lives. And so but those, that's not enough. I mean, 4.2 million from the coronavirus, abortion, one baby law, whatever, right? That's not enough. And according to the Georgia Guidestones, have you ever heard of the Georgia Guidestone?
No, I haven't.
All right, there's the stones in Georgia that have like all these rules of life.
Oh yes.
You know about them? Okay. So the first rule on there is that they have a goal to put the global population at 500 million. So that it's sustainable, right? So it's 500 million is their ideal goal. And so currently we have a global population of 7.8 billion. So you would have to basically do even more than Thanos, right? With the finger snap. Because what was Thanos's number? 2/3?
Half of no, it was half.
It was half. Okay. Well, this one almost doubles it. You would have to eradicate nearly 94% of the world population to reach 500 million. And what better way to do that than with a vax that doesn't work on a man-made virus that can be tailored to kill whoever and however many people they want.
Yeah.
There's my tinfoil hat.
Oh, dude. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's just, it's insane because, the way I just think about kind of a year ago when we were talking about this, thinking like in our minds, we weren't thinking about this being such a huge deal. Maybe to the point where, if it shows up here, okay, maybe we'll be kind of like, all right, well, let's see what's going on. Hopefully we can contain it and let it be. Dude, it like looking back at it now, it is wild to really think that this thing really suppressed this whole country. The mask mandates, staying 6 feet away, everybody stay indoors, no large crowds. Everybody take the proper precautions, all this stuff, right?
Yep.
And it looks like it's almost like we reached a point where we saw the end of the tunnel and we saw the light in the tunnel, but then it's kind of like we're repeating the same cycle. Now they're talking about this Delta variant. Ooh. Now that they're saying this is more, it's more contagious. Now it's more where people that got vaccinated might have to get the third dose. Ooh. Now it's more where, they're really pumping a lot of fear into this. And like I said, I always go back to what this guy said years ago. I met this coworker of mine. Fear makes the world go round.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of this whole thing is this is when I stopped being afraid. Mm-hmm. When I got the coronavirus and I worked for 7 days before realizing I even had it, I could have worked through that whole time. The only reason I took it off was because you could get time off and get paid for staying home. Like I'm like, shoot, if they're gonna give me 3 more days off, I'll take some time off. This ain't no thing. Yeah. But like I literally like the sniffles. I got the sniffles. Okay, and then let's look at this is on back to the depopulation. Mm-hmm. Let's look at who it is killing, right? If there really is a plan to depopulate the world,
Mhm.
isn't it kind of ironic that it's killing off only, oh, I don't know, the weakest among us, the elderly, the overweight, the people with pre existing conditions?
Mhm.
Kind of funny that it, like, if I were to man make something, I would man make something that would kill off and eradicate the weakest among us. Like, if this
Mm.
is the new modern day version of eugenics, the American slash Chinese version of it. I mean, believe me, America loved their eugenics, and I think it's just one of those things that hasn't gone away from those elitist scientists. Those, I mean, there are people that are so warped. I just watched this show called How to Be a Tyrant. It was like a Netflix series. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but you did mention it. When we were texting a couple days
It
ago about it.
it reminded me of what America and China are today. Like, literally all these play by play. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, America and China both are working in cahoots with each other on becoming the next global tyrant. It's almost like we're we're saying, hey, let's just, China gets all of the communist nations under theirs, and then America gets all the democratized nations under theirs, and we're just gonna, like, as a marriage, run the world together. You know, this America Chinese marriage. That's what it feels like.
Mm.
You know, I mean,
Well,
and go ahead.
no, I so sorry to cut you off, but I did read an article, and again, I'll have to find it. I'll have to shoot it to you. They were talking about how in Texas and Arizona they bought like 88,000 acres or something like that. China did.
Hey, yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is crazy, and that they, and even before we were hearing about how they're selling a bunch of properties here in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to say, nah, you can't be doing that shit because they were paying it cash money. Like, all right, here you go. And
Yeah,
this shit's happening. I mean, it's
I'm
true. I mean,
telling
they are
you.
buying a bunch of land and all this stuff. So I mean, it makes you kind of raise an eyebrow, like, what the fuck, But
Yep. And so what this is, it's not, so, to our listeners, this is only stuff to say, okay, we are in this together. Like,
mhm,
anybody listening to this, you are not the good guy. You're not the guy that they want saved. You are the one that they want erased. If you were listening to this podcast, the only people that are going to make it are the people that are gonna be the strongest, the smartest, the chosen, basically the
the
chosen. Because
chosen.
once you can kill enough people, then you can round up everybody off and do. I mean, look at what China's doing right now with the Uyghur Muslim
Yeah, that's
population,
crazy. That's just crazy.
rounding them up and putting them through their concentration camps and education camps, and they're harvesting organs, and yet, we can't talk about it because there's too many people like LeBron James and all these Hollywood elite people that are getting signed paychecks from them, from the Chinese government. That's just like, you are not going to talk about us, you're not going to reveal this truth, you're not going to talk about this. And I think that, not to defend Trump, I think that Trump, so Pompeo is under Trump, right?
Yeah.
But I think that Trump was the one guy, he was our last hope, as far as, because he really, like, he was the guy that understood that this shit was messy, and that he was trying his best to clean house as much as he could, but he was getting his back. He was like our Caesar. He got his back stabbed by the people that were closest to him. The people that should have had his back, should have been fighting for the American people, whatever. But, like, you get Biden in there, who, was clearly just not elected. The Don't tell me that he got the America's most votes ever, and you look at every YouTube channel that he's on. Like, if you go to the White House and you go to every YouTube video that he puts on, it's ratioed like you've never seen anybody
Mhm.
get ratioed before. There are almost double, triple the dislikes to likes. And Kamala Harris is not much liked either. And so, but it's just like, that's who those people are in cahoots. Trump was the one guy that he's just like, I have so much money, but I love this country and I love what it can become, that I have the money to lose. and I'm 75 years old, however old he is, like, what are you going to do to me? Right. And his whole thing was, it's not me that they're afraid of. It's you. It's the people that vote for me. It's the people that vote for this idea of what America is supposed to be, the freedom, the low taxes, the anti-socialist, which is just a friendly version of communism, right? It's just a friendly name of communism. It's the same exact thing as communism. It's just a friendlier term. But that's exactly what it is. And that's why when you see the Cuba uprising, right? You see all these Cubans, like waving American flags. Like, we want freedom. We want freedom of speech. We want real freedoms. I'm sure they would love to have the freedom to bear arms, the freedom to stand against their tyrannical and oppressive and authoritarian government. But they don't. They've been stripped of all that. And your AOCs and your Bernies and your Nancy Pelosi's and your Chuck Schumers, they're all just dead silent when it came to Cuba. Meanwhile, you get people from Mexico and Central America flooding the gates, right, in this middle of this pandemic, and no one's getting vaccinated, but they tend to vote for the left, the Biden and all that squad, that team. And so they're like, hey, we're gonna let you guys come through carte blanche, doesn't care, and we don't need you to get tested. We're going to send you on airplanes, and you may or may not have the correct identity. We don't care. We're not checking. And so all this stuff, it's like it's happening right in front of us, and we're supposed to just pretend like it's not happening. But there's clearly something happening. There's clearly something happening right before our eyes.
That's
so
wild.
And as far as Cuba, I'm not even saying that we should let give Cubans the same right. I'm saying shut the border completely. Look at, like we're passing this world's largest infrastructure bill, and let's look at maybe controlling our spending a little bit. Let's get all this stuff. Hey guys, I know you want in our country and all that. That's cool. I get it. It's pretty dope country. But you're just gonna have to just kick back for a while, because we gotta fix, like, we have a lot of money we have to spend on our infrastructure and our social, there's so many things we have.
Just a lot of stuff on our end, bro. Like, I think there's
Our
a lot of
dams
shit.
are about to explode, and
there's still a bunch. I think we should really try to focus on the things on this side, and then eventually work our way down the list of things we need to do, prioritize, right? But it's crazy. I mean, it's been issues so much where it's gotten passed down. They never really found like a solid solution in all this, so now it's like the next president's going to get all these issues and problems still going on. And it just seems like, damn, like, are we ever going to see it in our lifetime where things are going to be resolved, or all these issues are going to be resolved? I mean, dude, I don't know. I would hope so, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the thing, So I don't know, dude. It's crazy. It's wild. But did you see that on Vault Entertainment, Vault Entertainment, right? You've seen some of his podcasts. He's offering Trump 2.5 million and Obama 2.5 million to come and do an interview with them hand in hand and discuss, like, just have a conversation.
I mean, that it would be good it would be good to see, but here I think it's too toxic to have those two together. That's like literally, oh boy, who like Tupac and Biggie.
Oh, dude. Someone's gonna draw first, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's asking them to sit down, which Biggie was a cool dude. It was Pac that was like kind of your wild card. Like, I don't know,
he's unpredictable. I don't know.
Tupac's gonna be there. Maybe we shouldn't do it. He's kind of a loose cannon.
Literally loose cannon. Hit him up, boy. Woo.
Yeah.
No, but I thought you're right. It would be interesting to see, but you're right. It would be, I don't know how that whole thing would be conducted, but I mean, in the comments, what's crazy, and this is where I wanted to read the comments under that video that he said, because he was going about how there's so much divide in this country. At their terms, both being presidents, he said personally he felt like there was a lot of good and bad that came with it, but he's like, I would want to sit down with both of them, and I'm offering you each 2.5 million to come to my show and have just a discussion about America and what's going on, what we could do better, all this stuff. It all sounded great. In the comments, dude, I was surprised a bunch of people were for it.
Yeah.
Regardless, if you were with Democratic, Republican, everybody was for it. Like majority of the comments that I read, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep my eye on it to see if it does go down. But
Dude,
I just thought it was something interesting. Like, damn, this is like the first that I've seen something like that try to be done. Like, really, that's out there, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I just know that Trump, he's basically, he's a wild card, and they hated each other. I remember Obama like clowning Trump, saying you will never be president, and then all of a sudden he's president. You know, and imagine that, having to shake his man's hand, like, and give over. I mean there was no transition either. It wasn't like Trump got it after the next president. It was like your arch nemesis, you're giving the powers to it. And it was so messy. So that I would definitely watch it, and we would definitely talk about it. We would definitely cover it. I would love for that to happen. I just don't. I guess my question is, what could we really fix from it? Would anything be solved?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Well, like you would hope that something good from it would happen, but at the end of the day, we'll never know until it actually does. So I'm all for like taking a step in what would I think be in the right direction, because he was just making it clear, he wants to have a solid conversation with both of them, with both parties, and just have a discussion. And if we can have these type of discussions with, ex-presidents, maybe it could turn where, people don't have to be like automatically, because trust me, dude, like I'm just going to say this as it was a situation of mine, right?
Yeah.
It was at work. I'm just saying it was at work. I had my face mask and I told this gentleman that he needed to have gloves. And he straight up looked at me in my eyes and he's like, you must be, or he's like, you must be, I forgot what he says. You must be a Jay Inslee voter, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I literally looked at him and I was like, no. I'm like, no, I'm just letting you know how it is, man. That's all I'm doing. And threw a fit, walked away. I'm like, dude, it's that type of shit where I'm like, really, man?
This is what's messy. This is what's really messy about this whole pandemic and how it's become politicized. Because again, like, I'm at this hotel room and it's clearly messy, and I'm clearly thinking about coronavirus. I'm like, I've already been sick with it once. I don't want it again. And like, we should, and I'm red pilled. So, I'm not wearing my mask at all times, but if I know I'm going somewhere where, like, say I'm going out in public and like through the Christmas season, like if we're going Black Friday shopping, which I don't, but let's just say that, right? Say it was something along those lines where there's going to be a shit ton of people at an airport. I might bring my mask just because. And even though I know, like, there's so many people that say, oh, the science shows. But listen, I'm telling you, when I came back from the Philippines and I had what I think was the coronavirus, the very first, and it was like, it knocked me down. It was the worst I'd been sick in a decade and a half, 15 years. I'd never been this sick. I wore a mask to work, and this is in January. This is before anybody was talking coronavirus. It was, as far as we knew, Wuhan flu was in Wuhan only. That's I mean, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean that because back then it was just Wuhan flu. Like, it was like, hey, this thing is in Wuhan, China, and there was no talk of it hitting the States yet. And so, so I'm wearing my face mask to work. Like, it was this yellow, looked like a duck bill, and it was just something I got at Walmart, but it was something that was like, I'm going to wear this when I'm around people, because I care about the people I work with.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to get what I had, because it was one thing I noticed, it was highly contagious. Even with my mask, I did spread it to other people. Excuse me. But what I always ask myself is, how many people did I not spread it to? So that's the whole thing, that, like, we have to get over this whole politicization of this thing that's really that really is killing people. Like if this thing is a man-made biological weapon, it is man-made to kill us. So we still have to, whether you voted for Trump or Biden or Obama or whoever, you still have to protect yourself and your family. So this thing is still real. This thing, you know what I mean? Like it's still real, people.
I think so. I think it's wild that some people don't think it is, but I'm like, oh, you might want to rethink that, buddy.
And this is coming from a red pill dude, right? I'm just saying, protect yourself. I'm not saying it will kill you. I'm saying that when I got it and I was diagnosed with it, it was the sniffles. But if you are someone who has underlying conditions and you're fat, right, and you're just out of shape or you're old and you're all that, wear a mask. I'm not mad if you want to wear your mask. Wear it. And if someone asks you, right, if you're in a situation and someone asks you, hey, can you put on some protective equipment, like some gloves or a mask, whatever, don't trip, man. I mean, shit, you don't know that person doesn't have underlying conditions. So just help your community out.
Yeah. I just laughed and I'm like, all right, man, have a nice day. And he's walked off. Like,
wow.
I mean, man, I'm not going to let that ruin my day, but I thought it was just like the mind blowing that people really have to take it to that fucking next level. Like, all right, man.
People get offended. People get offended.
Wild. It's like they already lost at that point because they got offended just by getting asked a fucking question or, just being reminded of a policy. That's all it is. So it's like, all right.
I think your camera is a Jay Inslee voter because it just keeps going out of focus. Like, come on, man, focus. What's going on? No. Camera. Hey, one other thing I want to throw out there, just as a funny little haha. Okay. So there's like a mayoral race going on in Seattle right now.
Okay.
And I don't know, like I'm just like completely aside from I'm not paying too much attention, but one thing that stuck out was one of the candidates that's running. He's running on like let's see. So okay, mind you, so the mayor is Jenny Durkin, who was the former prosecuting attorney for Obama, right? She was an Obama prosecuting attorney. Like she, like the best of the best, right? She's the cream of the crop. She's a tiger, right? She knows what she's doing. She's very highly educated. She's, not that I agree with her politically, but she knows her shit. You know what I mean? She's like, and then anyway, and so then the one, I think he's a leading candidate, and I don't know his name. I don't have his name in front of me, but anyway, he is running on like free rent, whatever. But he owes $20,000 in back rent. So and I don't think he has any plans of paying it either. And
what the fuck, man?
And I'm like, dude, how far have we fallen where we like literally like you're eligible? Like someone who is $20,000 in debt with his rent, can't even afford his rent, is now going to tell us we all have to pay our fines, and he's going to be in charge of all this. Like, oh my God. This is awesome. I love living. I love being alive during this time. I love it.
I think he's just trying to help himself at that point, man. That's just kind of what I read from it. That's crazy.
I know I'm wearing the Seattle Sonics hat.
Oh, dude, I know.
I'm very anti-Seattle, but this is for memories. This is Sean Kemp. This is Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Coach George Karl. This is like when we almost got the Bulls. And when I say almost, we weren't even close, but we,
but you like to rethink that in your memory that you guys did. Yeah,
but I remember those games, man. And it's just like that. This is like, I remember being a kid in Montana and watching those NBA finals in 1996, 1997 and thinking, wow, Seattle might get this. And then, Jordan just spanked our asses. Dude, yeah. Oh, he was just so good.
Those were the days, man, where like I feel like basketball was really playing at its true format, dude. And it's crazy to see that there's a lot of comparisons still like to this day where, they say a lot of these b-ball players couldn't be playing back in the days, dude, because, in 96, 95 and all that, dude, they were fucking playing aggressive. Like, you're fucking throwing swings at each other. Like, you would see videos and highlights and shit. I'm like,
Remember
yo, dude,
Latrell Sprewell?
it was a different fucking game back then, man. What was that?
Remember Latrell Sprewell? Yeah, he put
Uh,
his hands on one of the coaches. He like literally choked
Holy
the coach.
shit! I think I do remember
He
that.
was with
Yeah,
the Indiana Pacers and
I remember Meta
or no,
World
the
Peace
New
when he
York
started
Knicks
swinging
maybe.
on that fan. Remember
Who?
that? Meta World Peace. He started swinging on that fan.
Who was that? No, I don't remember that.
Uh, uh he changed his name to Meta World Peace. Who was it before? I do. I'm fucking. Let me see.
I
I'll
don't
look
know.
up.
But I remember Allen Iverson with his crossover,
Oh,
and
dude, fuck
he
yeah.
would do that on Jordan. And
He was
dude, I
nasty
remember
though.
all those people, man. Who was the Pacers? The guy on the Pacers. Oh man, there was Grant Hill with the New York or with New Jersey. Um,
Run our test. Run our test. It was Run Our Test that got in a fight with one of his fans or
oh,
one.
Ron Artest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember when he started swinging on that one of the dude?
yeah. In
That
the
there was
crowd,
no in the crowd, bro. He just started swinging on it. Like, what would you do?
Oh,
Like,
he
I would
changed
be
his name.
literally, dude. I would be like, yo, what the?
Okay, remember when Shaquille O'Neal was breaking
The
backboards?
backboards, yeah, because he was
just
dunking it too hard.
shattering?
Yeah, dude, those were the fucking times, man.
Oh man,
Nothing
the only one,
compares.
the only one I know that LeBron James is so. It's just like he sold out to China, so I disregard him on every level. And by his Toon Squad or whatever that thing that completely flopped. I mean,
Oh, Space Jam 2, yeah.
so LeBron gets no love from me, but Kobe Bryant, he was the only one in modern times that ever got close to Jordan, where I'm like,
Phenomenal player.
if
Phenomenal
there
player.
was someone that I had to say, like if Jordan was in his prime and Kobe was in his prime and they were both playing together, that would be fireworks.
Dude, yeah, he was.
Oh.
I think what's crazy is that they really do look over Kobe in a sense when they do comparisons to where like who was better, LeBron or Jordan. But there's times where I'm like, well, you got to put Kobe in the picture too. You just can't like pass him over and think that he wasn't part of the picture either, dude. So
yeah,
if anything, it would be like them three, you know. But that's again, that's my opinion. I'm not really that much of a sports nut.
Okay, with bias aside, right? You do have to look at those three. It's not like LeBron. I'm just hating on him and I give him no respect. So, you know, but if I'm being real to real, like, okay, throw him in there, whatever, I'll let you guys, but he doesn't get my vote.
Hey, keeping it real. I do think it's cool what he's doing with that school though. He did open up a school that's helping every kid where I think a lot of them are going to colleges. It was like a high percentage, like 98% of them are going to go to college.
Nice.
I think that's cool. And I give him kudos for that. As a player, basketball player, he's good, but I mean, I'm an MJ fan all day, every day. I'm always going to hold him to that GOAT status, but I do give him kudos for that school that he opened up. So that's what I gotta say about that.
No, and there was a very, very cute video I saw when Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, I don't know the names, but she was looking at, you know, here she is, her parents are like way bigger than LeBron James, right? But she sees LeBron James and she's clearly starstruck. And it was just the cutest video because he's like, you know, LeBron is coming up on her and is like, hey, give me a high five, and she's just like being all shy, and Jay-Z just like, oh no, come on, you know. It was a very, very cute video. So
man.
You know,
speaking of Jay-Z, okay, so I think we'll end it off on this note, just because we're actually an hour into this episode already. But I know I can't leave off. I'm not talking about the return of Ye, aka Jesus, dude.
Yes.
Okay, I'll say this. Okay. So this album was supposed to release last year. During the time of he was actually on a roll of releasing a few other albums. I think he did like Ye, titled Ye, and then he did like production albums for like Pusha T, something Taylor, I forgot her name. But it was him and Kid Cudi. So he did quite a few projects last year, right? He was supposed to release another one called Donda after his mother, R.I.P. to Mrs. West. But that got put aside and everybody kind of forgot about it. And, you know, he was going through all this stuff with, you know, him working on his clothing and all that stuff. So he was just being active in other stuff. When they announced, and you know, this is what's crazy. When he posts up a picture like on Instagram or he makes a return to social media in general, people fucking go nuts because it's like, oh shit, you know, something's going to happen. Like there's activity, something's going to happen. he hinted that he was releasing, or Donda, the album was going to be out soon. And then all of a sudden, we got a date for the listening party in Atlanta at the Falcons Stadium, the football team, that it was going to be a listening party. So you could buy tickets, anybody can go. Sold out. Okay. But here's the crazy thing. This man walks into the middle, speakers, there's speakers around the stadium. He has this like dripped out red outfit, this mask on him, which is crazy. For Kanye, like the swag is what it's all like. What kind of like makes him that? Oh damn! Like it's crazy. Like it's just like he's thinking outside the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
He walks out in the crowd. The music starts playing. It's pretty much they're gonna play the whole album track by track. Through the whole time they play this album, which by the way, man, phenomenal album. I can tell you right now, I like the album from beginning to end. Beginning to end, it's got like it just it's like it's just dude. I am gonna repeat that album for a whole week straight. But through the whole time they were playing it, he didn't say one single word. Walked out, and that was it. And they were saying the only man that could do that would be Kanye West to sell out a stadium for a listening party, for him not to even say one word. I mean, who can do that? Who, like at this point in time, we are witnessing greatness, like right now, in a sense of him and an artist and a rapper too, because like he did the production on it, and he did the raps. But I thought it was, dude. I mean, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for it.
An iconic move,
dude.
That is
iconic. And he's so here's the one more thing I don't think you know. From the time where he did the listening party, which was last Friday, he's been living at the stadium, finishing up the album so it can be released the 5th of August.
Wow.
Dude, like what? Like what? Has that been done to where like, how does one like just say, fuck it, I'm gonna live at the fucking football stadium. I'm gonna work on this album. We're gonna get it fucking cracked out. Because he said he was gonna initially release it the day after. Actually, this was on a Thursday. He was supposed to release it on a Friday, like Thursday midnight into Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was going crazy, like, yo, where's has he released it yet? Everybody, even me, I was refreshing my Spotify, Apple Music. Nothing came about. And then they were saying within a sort of circle that they pushed it back because he said he just felt like it wasn't ready. He's still working on it. He wants it to be the best of the best. And then we got word that August 5th is the new official release date. And he shared a picture of his little bedroom, which was like a bed, a couple of his shoes. It looks like he's working out in there. Yeah. It almost looked like a jail cell, to be real. I'm like, damn, dude.
I saw that and I want to make a meme of that for maybe this next episode.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, dude, go for it, dude. Add your creative touch to it. But
yeah, we'll do it.
All in all, man, we have to give the man his flowers now because he's still a massive figure at the age he's at right now, even till this day, dude. Like, that's what's crazy about it. To me, it's like he is an artist. Phenomenal artist, dude. Like I've been a fan when he came out. I mean, name him, he was like quite a character, but it's like you got to look at the man for his work, dude, and like what he's done. And like seriously, you know. But his music, I mean, all I'm saying, dude, I listened to the whole album. Like when he previewed it, I liked it. And I can't wait to listen to the final product. So
you said that there were no cuss words in it either, huh?
He didn't cuss. Like I honestly didn't catch. He might have said the N-word. I don't know if you consider that a cuss word. I would put it in the cuss word category, but I don't think he cussed himself. Like other people that he had on there, I think they did though. But him himself, he wasn't going like that. Like I would compare it to kind of like his past previous albums, like My Dark Twisted Fantasy or Yeezus or A Life of Pablo. Like how he was on that one. He was much a different approach on this, but he was still like the meme would say, like when I listen to this album, I don't know if I want to hit the streets or if I want to go to church. I'm like, yo, straight up. That's how you would look at that album because it's hard. Wow. Like it's still that like, okay, this is how we know, Kanye. Like this is how we know the man, But dude, I applaud. I applaud that.
Hey,
shit,
I mean that everything that you just said, it makes me want to jump on that. It makes me
just take a listen, man. Take a listen.
I remember when I listened to him. I mean, I stopped listening to him after. It was the one where he was in the music video was him being Evil Knievel, where he was launching on a rocket or whatever over the canyon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and I forgot, but I mean that was an early on, and it was just like, and I think it was just as my life itself was changing, and
Mm-hmm.
when you have kids, man, you think about the music you listen to, you think
Yeah.
about the people that you hang out with, you think
Mm-hmm.
about how much you want to drink, when you want to
Mm-hmm.
drink, you think about everything. With if you're a parent and you're doing it right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parents that are fucking up. They're lacking, and
They're lacking.
I mean there
Straight
are.
up.
I see them all the
Straight
time.
up.
I mean,
Straight up.
and but when I'm telling you, man, from my firstborn to my secondborn, like they changed my whole life, and
Mm-hmm.
they just changed me as a human. They changed me as a person, and anyway, the point of it was where you brought me into it with how dynamic Kanye is. Like I feel like I could listen to that with my kids and then
Mm-hmm.
also have that same feeling I had when I was first listening to Kanye
Mm-hmm.
over what 12 years ago.
Dude,
I
yeah,
mean,
he's been in the game for a while, dude. That's the
man,
crazy thing. He's been in the game for a
that's
while,
amazing.
and to still, like I said, to pull the type of crowd, like even the younger generation, dude. I mean, that's gonna make you think. Like he still got it, dude. I mean,
See, and
it's
it's just
crazy.
remember how much shit he was getting when he went to the White House and was
Mm-hmm.
talking to Donald Trump, and
Mm-hmm.
and they were there. Kim Kardashian, they got I think the one they were talking about prison reform, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about real things. But man, he got hated by so many people, and it's like, dude, he set the model for you guys to follow, that no matter who's in office, you can still get stuff done, important
Mm-hmm.
stuff done. Why are we hating on him? Why
Yeah.
are we hating on success? Why are we hating on doing the right thing just because the timing isn't right or my guy isn't in office?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. That's what separates him from the chaff. And there's
Yeah.
so much chaff out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's straight up. If they are gonna do something that's gonna be beneficial to the community, like prison reform, and if Kim did get, I think it was a girl who got like a crazy charge for drug possession, like I think it was
Yeah.
marijuana. It was like a
Yeah.
life sentence, and she changed that. You got to give her kudos for doing that and have it. Like they're probably just pissed at the fact. Well, they probably think like it should have been someone else instead of Kim Kardashian, right? Like she's only doing it to get attention or to really put herself out there. But I think Kanye said in
No,
one of his
she was
interviews,
working on her law
yeah.
degree,
And Kanye has said himself that she's really passionate about it. Like that's
Yeah.
actually what she wants to do, and take it for what it is. If that's what she wants to do, and let's say she wants to be consistent with that and help more people like that, how can you be mad at that? Like straight up, like you know what I'm saying. But I mean, people are always gonna have their opinions, and I
I
mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. For me, like if that's what you think, cool. But I mean, I think it is. If it's a positive, it's a positive.
mhm.
There's no different way to look at it from there. You know.
Yep. No, I think if you can be someone who is influential, and instead of telling people to have promiscuous sex with multiple partners, and uh, have multiple abortions, and have kill multiple people and do multiple drugs, whatever, and if you can use that influence and tell people to do the right things, to follow through on your education, um, have some self dignity, self pride, like that's the difference.
Yeah.
And what those two are doing, Kim K and Kanye, that's I'm sorry, but that's what we need right now. And
Mm,
I'm glad that they're delivering that. That
yeah.
makes me happy.
Yeah. No, but overall, I mean, I can't wait to hear the full album, and
Me neither.
it seems like he's in a good space. So hey, man, I applaud it, and I'll be waiting like anybody
Hell
else.
yeah.
Yeah, brother. But we can wrap it up if you want. I mean, dude, it's this was a solid session. So I mean, unless you got anything else you want to fucking throw on the table before we fucking, I
Nope.
mean,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see if this episode does get pulled. I know I said some controversial red pill shit, but
yeah,
we do live in a weird day and age where we're being censored on basically every level. And if we don't get censored on the next episode, I'll talk a little bit about the world of cryptocurrency. Of course, I'll be repping my gear, and I'll take you into a little world there.
That'd be dope. That'd be
but,
good. That'd be a good conversation.
But we'll see. We'll see if this is our litmus test to see if we are going to if the big tech is really censoring the world like I think it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. And I will wear it like a badge of honor. Like we will literally have, if this episode gets pulled, we will go from 66 to 68. This will always be episode 67. So if you see a gap in our things, like Joe Rogan has gaps on any episode he's ever done with Alex Jones, they've literally pulled all those episodes, and there's all those gaps in his things. So if you see that, it was not me that pulled it. It was not Eddie that pulled it.
We just want to give that disclaimer so you guys are all aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
But I want to be, I want to stand in this time that we're living in. I want to stand up confidently enough to say the things that I think are things that we should be talking about, at least. Is it real? Is it not? I don't know. But this whole freedom of speech, this idea that we have in America, where we have this amendment that preaches freedom of speech, whether it's protected by Section 230 of the communications agreement, whatever, is big tech going to censor us? We don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. But with that being said, we're going to wrap this episode up. And as always, go follow us on Instagram at the Tip Ditch Podcast. Go check us out on YouTube at the Tip Ditch Podcast. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. We definitely would want all the listeners to get involved with asking questions or just giving us your thoughts and opinions on this stuff. We're available on all major streaming platforms. You can catch all the other previous 66 episodes, this being the 67th again, just to reiterate what my boy Brett said here. So we'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace.